Valentine's Day, 1998. I remember that day when I asked you to be my Valentine. That special bond felt like I was going between us was increasing, and I wanted to take that to the next level. I remember the look on your face, the happiness and excitement the day we spent together, drained from your face like running down water a plug hole. You said no. I loved you. You know I did, so why would you do this to me? Why? I remember when you walked away into a crowd of lovers. I sat on the bench crying. I walked home on my own. No one was at home to comfort me like after what you did. I remember waking up, looking at the patterns of the cuts from last night. The blood on the carpet was still there from last night. The writing on my bedroom walls was still there. Why? The writing all said was all written in blood. I remember 2 weeks later, I saw you on the street with another man, much younger and better looking than me. The pain just grew and grew. Everything we had done together had been just thrown away by you. Every time you get the picture. You told me that you loved me and only. I remember when I walked down that alley and that gang of thugs mugged me and killed me. I died thinking of you as the knife plunged into my chest, ending my life with pain in my heart as the knife dug deeper into me. I could feel the life slipping away. The sheer pain was excruciating. I remember at my funeral, my friends and family were there. My mother was crying, my father was comforting her. I looked around, but I couldn't find you anywhere. When I died, it wasn't nice. All I could feel was the shearing pain through my body, as if I was on fire. The pain was excruciating, and I only escaped because I didn't feel complete. I felt that I needed something more, and I knew what it was. It was revenge. I don't know how I escaped, but I involved it with lots of pain. When I got back to Earth, I felt like was going straight home to have to say hey to everyone and say I survived. That was when I realized no one could see me. So I just killed the thugs and that took my life. I could still move things, but I was invisible. It was great fun and I enjoyed it so much. The first one I end up feeling laying up and down on the ground with a cracked skull and no scalp. I never knew that what hit him. I used to the same knife he used to kill me, carve his pretty little eyes out of his eye sockets. By the time the two other assholes had backed into a corner, I ripped the first one's fingers off my teeth. After that, I cut his eyes out, holding them in hand as in the others. I knew what I was going to use them for. I was going to make a necklace for you. With the second shuddering of pain on the floor and the third in tears, I felt the rush and became even more violent. I cracked his jaw with my first uppercut, dislodged his head from the body within the second as the others. I cut his eyes out with the same knife and kept the eyes and knife for later use. I knew where I had to go to next. I was going to get to his house, the one who took you away from me. I was going to be less forgiving to him. When I first saw him, I knew there'd be something wrong. He could sense me getting closer. I knocked him out with a single punch to the neck, taking out his airway and suffocating him till he collapsed. After that, I surgically cut a hole in his throat so he could breathe. I wanted this to last as long as possible. He choked up in blood and started to awake. On the verge of death, it appeared to be he saw me. He knew who I was. But you were dead, he stuttered. He was so wrong. I cut his eyes out with him still screaming. Then I plunged the knife deep into his stomach, watching as his intestines poured out into the cold carpet floor. At least I think it was cold. It was too drenched in blood for me to tell. I felt better after this, but still not complete. I was still missing something, and it was you. I needed you. I would never be complete without you. So I set off to your house, whistling to myself along the way. I was happy for some reason. I knew nothing could stop me now as I drew closer. I felt happier and happier. You were surprised to see me, and you cried and I told you not to. You wouldn't stop and I tied you up. I got angry and I shouted. I cut you I put the necklace I made on you, and you screamed louder. I plunged a murder weapon that was just used on me into your eye, and from then on we were tied together in permanent bond. No one would separate us. I was happy now. I could finally rest.